Notary, I hope tonight finds you doing well. I'm coming to you tonight on a hot topic for all of us, and that's taxes, taxes everywhere. Because as you know, if you're in the United States, we're dealing with tax season, and taxes for 2021 are due this coming Monday. Additionally, on April 18th, this coming Monday, our Q1 taxes are due as well. That includes both federal and state. So I want to make sure as an entrepreneur that you know 9 times out of 10, it's likely that you'll want to consider filing estimated taxes. Now, I'm not an accountant and I'm not trying to give you any tax advice, but I do recommend that you consult one or at least the US government website so you can see where you might sit. When you're a W-2 employee, you often have taxes taken out and you're going to end up kind of close to what you need to owe being taken out throughout the year. But when you earn straight money, like a 1099, for example, for consulting or loan signing or general notary work for that matter, often it's not taxed at all. And in those events, you need to make sure, for me at least I have, that I'm paying quarterly. And what does that look like? Well, today I'm making sure that I'm paying my January, February, and March taxes, both federal and state, on Monday, April 18th. I'm also paying my 2021 taxes on April 18th because that's the deadline for those annual taxes. Then we wiggle a little bit, right? There are other tax dates that are a little bit different as we enter the following quarters. For example, April and May are only 2 months, and those are due June 15th. Then we've got June, July, and August that are due September, and then September, October, November, and December that are due in January. This can come as an impact to a lot of people who are working in the 1099 world, especially people with multiple income streams like us. The first year we saw a large income bump in our personal income from 1099, we were sure to talk to our accountant right away because that's not all our money to spend, right? We work hard to use the tax laws that have been given to us to take advantage of investments that the government's looking to incentivize, like a SEP IRA or any sort of funding of an HSA plan or any sort of deductions that we have an opportunity to fit in. But at the end of the day, we figure out what our general tax rate is and always have to put that money aside. When you have multiple streams of income that are each earning over 6 figures, that can add up quickly. And you don't want to end up in a bind at tax time owing the IRS. Now, in April, you can certainly file an extension for your annual taxes, but quarterly taxes are important to be paid in a timely manner. And the pain points that I often hear about are this week, right? Because we've got not only our annual taxes from last year, but our quarterly taxes for this quarter due on Monday. But we also see that happening in January when people are still somewhat recovering from the holidays and the end of the year, perhaps, especially if you're in the loan signing business, that feels like a bit of a lull, a bit of a slower time for your business. And yet you've got that big 4 months, September, October, November, and December, of estimated income taxes to be paid. So this is just kind of a highlight to you that as you're amortizing your income over the course of the year and you're anticipating what's coming down the line in terms of expenses, to make sure that taxes is one of those items. I highly recommend having a qualified accountant that is familiar with self-employment law, especially in your state, because rules can vary. And it sure is helpful when they know the ways that the government's looking to reward you with deductions. The other thing I would say is that this is a great time for reflection, right? We've gotten through the first quarter of what can be considered, in comparison to the last 2 years, a bit of a slower year. So what were your goals for 2022 in your business? And are you on target for those? What can you do to adjust as we move to the second quarter and pivot so that you're feeling in the catbird seat once we're rounding to the third quarter when our business really hits high gear? Some of the things that I would suggest are reducing expenditures if that's something that's available to you. You may not need all the subscriptions that you currently have. And in addition, you could do other things to build your income and seek outside work, like expanding your portfolio to include general notary work, establishing yourself as a remote online notary, or signing up with additional signing services. There's tons of opportunity out there, over 20 million transactions a year, and you are perfectly trained and wonderful for this position. We know that you have what it takes to be successful. We just want to encourage you with some of these back office things that could come up that might make you feel discouraged to ensure instead you feel empowered and acknowledge that it takes some education and some outside support to make that happen. As I said, we're grateful for our accountant. And so that's the other last thing I would say is be thoughtful to your entrepreneurial friends out there as we're entering this self-employment tax phase of the year, and to all your friends that are in tax preparation. Goodness knows they're working day and night to meet these deadlines, and we can give them a little grace and a little support as they move through this season. Now, after this, you can file an extension and they'll be busy again in October so that you'll have another chance to be a great friend and neighbor. I hope your evening is great. I hope your signings were light and easy, and I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow, live around 5.